Hey everyone, it's DINOSAUR. I hope you're all doing well. So, at risk of becoming the sticker guy, I'm back with another video that breaks down some of my favorite things you can do with stickers in competitive Pauper EDH. I know, some people really dislike stickers as a mechanic, and I'm not trying to win over any hearts and minds, but I did want to showcase some of the cooler, or at least more powerful things you can be doing with them in CPDH, with the idea that maybe these were some things that you hadn't come across before, and maybe next time you're brewing a deck, you'll have these cards in your back pocket as a tool you can use to win you some games. So, these tips and tricks apply to any format where stickers are legal, like regular Commander, and I guess like Legacy too. But I've specifically geared the video towards Pauper EDH, showcasing the sweet synergies and the combos you can pull off with only commons. Not only that, the primary focus here is on the competitive side of the Pauper EDH scene. In casual Pauper EDH, you might be able to build around a commander like Wicker Picker, for instance, something that I did for one of my first Pauper EDH decks. He's a solid source of tickets that will let you sticker up your artifact creatures and turn your sky scanners into like 10/10s or something. But Wicker Picker sadly isn't as viable in a competitive environment. So what I've done is, I've listed my 10 favorite things you can do with stickers that cost 2 tickets or less, as that is both the minimum number you need to get an ability sticker on something, and also probably the maximum number of tickets you're likely to accumulate during the course of a game. It's not impossible to get 3 or more tickets, but all the best sticker placing cards in the format, Command Performance, Stilt Strider, Finishing Move, and Robo Pinata, only give us 2 tickets to work with. So unless you go deeper than that and run cards like Prize Wall or Ticket Turbo Tubes to gain more tickets, 2 is the most that you're ever going to make. I did include a few sticker lines with the more expensive stickers at the end of the video, but again, you're unlikely to be able to get there in the average game of CPDH. It's just nice to know that they exist in case you find yourself in that rare situation where you have more tickets than you know what to do with. For this video, I'm assuming that you know how stickers work and understand the basic mechanics behind them. If you're not sure, please feel free to pause this video and go watch the introduction to my Aranis Street Urchin deck tech, where I give a rundown on how to play with stickers. I may make another standalone video on sticker mechanics if that's something people would like to see. You can leave me a comment down below and let me know. But until then, between that deck tech and the sticker entry on the MTG Wiki, it should have you covered. But with that out of the way, let's talk some stickers. First up, we have the most played sticker card across formats, and that's the Name-Sticker Goblin. You may have seen this guy before at CEDH tables or in Legacy Goblins, where he acts like a ritual, producing up to 6 red mana when he enters the battlefield. In CPDH, I've primarily seen him in some of the turbo combo decks, like Malcolm Rograk, where he accelerates your game plan by making a boatload of mana when he comes into play, and leaving a body behind that you can use with Springleaf Drum or Infernal Plunge. But did you know Name-Sticker Goblin is part of a cycle? That's right, he's got some friends as well, like Wizards of the Name-Sticker and Wolf in Name-Sticker Clothing. Wizards is a 3/1 for 4 mana that gives you a giant impulse when it enters the battlefield. And Wolf is almost a sweeper, giving -1/-1 to up to 6 target creatures when it enters the battlefield, which is kind of insane. Imagine this guy against, like, Third Path Iconoclast, or a Goblin deck, or a couple decks with Mana Dorks. You could totally wipe somebody out with him. The benefit of the Name-Sticker cards is that you don't have to have any ticket producers to run them. You just select the 10 stickers that have the words with the most unique vowels in them, and you're good to go. There are a few with 4 unique vowels, like guacamole, a couple with 5, like gelatinous, and 1 6-vowel word, delusionary. The list of the stickers with the most vowels in their name is easily found on the internet, though I'll put it down in the video description for you as well. So, those are the Name-Sticker cards. Next up is a combo that I mentioned in my Aranis deck tech, but I had to share it again here because it's just too sweet. Pestilence has been one of my favorite cards since the 90s when I started playing Magic. It's one of the more powerful cards in the format in my opinion, but what if we could make it even better? With a sticker, now every time we activate Pestilence, we're also gaining life equal to the total damage dealt to each creature and each opponent. Say each of our opponents has just 2 creatures on board. That's 9 life per black mana, as the damage we deal to ourselves is cancelled out by the lifelink. We can sweep the board plus give ourselves an insane amount of life, which against aggro and mid-range decks might just lock up the game right there. Not only that, there's also a Death Touch sticker. If we can't afford to leave anything in play, we can kill it all for just 1 black mana. Then, if we follow it up with our own creature, we can keep our Pestilence around to do it again next turn as well. This works with Crypt Rats too, or you can build your own machine gun with something like makeshift munitions and shoot things down one at a time. So the next slide is a combo that I've had played against me before, and that is with Cauldron Familiar. Islane has been running a Sivirus Cloakwood Hermit deck with a sticker package recently, and one of the highlights of that deck is the combo finish with the cat and giant mana cake. You generate some tickets somehow, put the first ability sticker onto the Cauldron Familiar, and then with a free sacrifice outlet like Visceraseer, you can sack the cat to make 2 food tokens. You sack one of the food tokens to return the cat to play with its ability, draining the table for 1, then sacrifice the cat again to the Visceraseer. This will make you infinite food tokens, but more importantly, it kills the table through cat damage. Like I said, I've seen Islane pull it off, and everybody dies if you don't have the Graveyard Hate to interact with it. It's just a very strong sticker combo. And speaking of combo decks, Puzzlebox and a few others have been building a very resilient Teshar deck in the format that takes advantage of stickers as well. The thing with Teshar is, most of its lines involve creatures like Mirror Retriever or Workshop Assistant that get back other artifacts from your graveyard when they die. You need historic spells like artifacts in hand to trigger Teshar when you cast them. Enter stickers. The sticker on the left, Sticky Kavu Daredevil, lets you return a free creature like an Ornithopter or a Phyrexian Walker to your hand when the stickered creature is sacrificed to something like an Ashnod's Altar. Because stickers stay on the permanents they're stuck to in all face-up public zones, the sticker will still be on the creature in the graveyard. Now, with the Ornithopter in hand, you have something free to cast to get that stickered creature back from the graveyard, which you can then sacrifice again for 2 mana to the Ashnod's Altar, returning the Ornithopter to hand, and boom, you've got an infinite mana loop. With the sticker on the right, Unassuming Gelatinous Serpent, you can sort of build your own retriever for non-creature artifacts. This has combo applications as well, but also, say your Ashnod's Altar gets destroyed, or you mill it into your graveyard with one of your various cards that do that. This is a way to get it back to combo again. But let's say you don't have an Ashnod's Altar, and you need another sacrifice outlet to get your retriever's death triggers. There's a sticker for that too. This is one of my favorite stickers in the whole bunch. It lets you sacrifice the permanent it's attached to draw 2 cards. What that means is we can put it on our Mirror Retriever, and now not only are we able to get back any artifact from our graveyard with its ability, we draw 2 as well, getting us deeper into our deck to find our other combo pieces. Just an amazing ability all around. That same sticker has a bunch of other cute applications as well. For instance, with cards like Ichor and Mycosynth Wellspring, these draw you a card or let you fetch out a land from your deck when they enter the battlefield or when they go to the graveyard. So, sticker them up and build your own Ancestral Recall, or a sort of reverse Yavimaya Elder, where you get to draw 2 and search for 1 land instead of the other way around. Anyway, this is a sticker I've used in a tournament before. At RIW, I put it on my experimental synthesizer, and basically turned it into a 1-mana draw 4, which was just a huge amount of value. It was one of my favorite plays of the day. Also, and one last thing about this sticker, it's great with Grave Flickers. These are cards like Feign Death, or Undying Malice, or a new one that we got in Not Dead After All, that give a creature an ability to come back from the graveyard with a buff if they were to die this turn. Imagine these with a card like Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Grey Merchant comes into play, you get your trigger, and then when it dies, you bring it back from the graveyard with a +1/+1 counter on it, getting another drain trigger and making your opponents lose even more life. But how do you get the Gary to die? Well, you can just sacrifice it for 2 cards. There are a ton of creatures with enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield triggers that this combo works well with. Think of like a Muldrifter or a commander like Abdel in the Abdel Agent of the Iron Throne deck. Plenty of opportunities to draw a couple cards while reusing your creature's triggers. Next, I wanted to talk about another combo deck that maybe doesn't need the help, but that's Malcolm with a red partner. The whole idea behind the Malcolm deck is that you get a creature like Reckless Fireweaver in play, which deals damage to each opponent whenever an artifact comes into play under your control. And then, with Malcolm in play, you change it into a pirate. The next time an artifact enters, say off of Malcolm hitting somebody and making a treasure token, Reckless Fireweaver deals 1 damage to everybody. This triggers Malcolm, which makes you 3 more treasure tokens, which each trigger Reckless Fireweaver, dealing 3 more damage, making 3 more treasures, until all your opponents are dead. The deck already runs a bunch of creature type changing spells, but maybe I can suggest one more. With the first sticker on Snazzy Ether Homunculus, you can give something the ability to give a creature all creature types until end of turn. You can put this on Malcolm himself, for instance, which will let you turn that Fireweaver into a pirate at your leisure. The thing is, if it's on one of your commanders, and that commander dies and goes back to the command zone, when you recast it later, it'll still have this sticker on it. Whereas with Amoeboid Changeling, or Image Crafter or something, if they die, you don't get it to bring it back. With this, if your combo gets interrupted somehow, you can try again later and already have the type changer available to you. It's also something else for Rograk to do in the Malcolm Rograk deck. Normal Roger just gets to activate a Springleaf Drum or soak up some damage with a Chump Block if things aren't going well. But this is another way to get him involved as a cheap recastable type changer from the command zone. I'm not sure if the deck wants to run command performance for the chance of high rolling into this one sticker, but it is an option that's available. In some cases, you're already running the Name-Sticker Goblin, which has 9 optimal name stickers and 1 flex slot, so maybe your flex slot can be Snazzy Ether Homunculus, just in case. It's just a thought. Anyway, next up, we have a different strategy altogether, and that's Voltron. Someone who's been using stickers for longer than I have even been playing this format is Ryan from the Common Connoisseurs in his Sailor's Bane deck. Sailor's Bane is a card that I love, and I love playing this deck, but our Dragon Turtle friend has one small problem in PDH. It only has 7 power, whereas a commander damage kill in the format is 16, meaning that you're just shy of being able to 2-shot somebody. However, as is the theme of this video, stickers to the rescue! With these, and a bunch of other stickers in your sticker board, you're able to pump your commander's power up past 8, meaning that 2 attacks are all you need to finish somebody off. With Exalted, for instance, you can be empty-handed with only the Dragon Turtle in play, and still be able to attack for 9 each turn, which is what this deck needs to be doing. But also, there's the Lifelink sticker from before, and a Vigilance sticker as well, which will help you win the race against the rest of the table. Just several beneficial stickers for this deck. There's another Voltron-style deck that benefits from stickers as well, and that's Slippery Bogle. I have a couple other stickers that are relevant to Bogle here. As this deck is looking to suit up your commander with some big juicy auras, the Heroic sticker on the left is a good one, and the extra +1/+1 counters are nice from the sticker on the right. But what I really wanted to focus on is down in the lower right-hand corner there. That's a 5/1 sticker for just 2 tickets. It's just an enormous boost to our commander's power, and also something that sticks around if Slippery Bogle dies somehow. So when you recast the little guy, he comes back into play as a 5/1 again, ready for a Spectral Flight or a Favor of the Overbeing to just start whacking people. I know these Voltron strategies haven't been very popular in the meta lately, but they can present some very large, scary threats from pretty early in the game, and back them up with counter magic and bounce spells. They can be difficult to close out games with, but I think they might be worth another look. I've gotten a few wins with Sailor's Bane pretty recently, and the decks definitely reward tight play and optimal threat assessment like a Dargo Ketis deck does. Anyways, next up, we have the exact opposite of Voltron, which is looking at stickers in a go-wide strategy. This is the sticker I most want to talk about in this style of deck, and that's Notorious Sliver War. The first ability here, where you pay 5 to give your creatures +1/+1, may not sound like much, and it's certainly not as splashy as some of the other stickers on this list, but it's the same effect as some other cards that see a little bit of play in the format already. I don't see a ton of Ambush Paratrooper or Steadfast Unicorn, but they've impressed me more than I thought when they're in play. I've definitely died to bird tokens and soldier tokens getting buffed by the Paratrooper before. I think it's a matter of there not being too many go-wide aggro decks in the format, with Gut Inspiring Leader being one of the main exceptions. But we do have other decks that make a lot of tokens, and they're pretty good ones too. How about a deck like Third Path Iconoclast, or Abdel Adrian? I know that we don't traditionally think of these decks as ones that go wide and win through 1/1 beatdowns, but I think there's a build of both of these decks that could capitalize on the fact that at the end of the day, you're making a ton of tokens, and they're perfectly legitimate bodies to throw at people. Third Path is already running pack attack sometimes. Is there space in there to give one of your non-land permanents an activated ability that pumps your whole team? Maybe. And Abdel decks tend to run a lot of mana rocks. Maybe Ticket Turbo Tubes could replace one of the other 3 mana rocks. Also, since Abdel decks often have a combo finish, if you ever get to infinite mana, this is a mana sink that can make infinitely large soldier tokens to win the game with. I know that these are both good decks without stickers, but what I'm saying is, maybe stickers could take them in a slightly different direction depending on how a game plays out, and come in clutch in the end. It's just something to think about. Last, we have a sticker that any deck running a sticker package should at least consider, and that's Trained Blessed Mind. There's nothing flashy here, it's not going to win you the game, but it might help you not lose the game. It's sort of a build your own honored heirloom, or a coffin purge. But remember, you don't have to put this on a creature. You're always going to have random permanents around that you can sticker up and start using to shut down Archaeomancer lines, or Teshar lines, or exile a Cauldron Familiar that's going to go infinite with the 2 food sticker. It's just an all-around good piece of graveyard interaction that you can use every turn to hold the combo players at bay. So, that's all of the 2-ticket stickers that I have for you. Again, these are all the ones that I think have the most chance of seeing play in CPDH, as you're unlikely to generate more than 2 tickets over the course of a game. However, it's certainly possible. So with that, I briefly wanted to highlight a few of the more expensive stickers. First up, we have hexproof and indestructible stickers, which can go on your commander or whatever permanent you most need to keep in play. They're just good protection in general, both very strong abilities. Next, we have my favorite ability, Provoke. Provoke, if you've never played against it, is just a house of a keyword, letting you attack with one of your creatures and force an opposing creature to block it. Even untapping that creature to make sure it gets into combat with your thing that's going to kill it. It basically hasn't been seen since the Legion set back in 2003, and there's never been an aura that gives a creature Provoke before, so stickering something up with this is the closest we'll probably ever get. We also have this incredible ability for 3 tickets, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. This is the ability from Archmage Emeritus, a rare from Strixhaven, that you can play in our format with a sticker. Again, imagine being Third Path Iconoclast or Crackling Drake, where it's not uncommon for you to cast 2 or 3 instants in a turn cycle, and you slap this thing on your Arkham's Astrolabe or your Impact Tremors or something. You're already running 38 or 40 instants and sorceries, and now you're just tearing through your deck, just drawing so many cards every turn and pulling far ahead. Finally, and this is the last slide, I promise, we have a Build Your Own Zulaport Cutthroat, or a Bastion of Remembrance. Except this time, you don't have to be in black for this effect. Let's go back to TPI for a second. The winning deck from the most recent Riches to Rags tournament was a Third Path Iconoclast list running Ashnod's Altar as a way to sacrifice a pile of tokens and Rolling Thunder somebody out of the game. But what if, instead of Rolling Thunder, you just drained the table out with Elemental Time Flamingo? Is that viable? Maybe. I thought it was interesting at least, and it might even have legs in a different version of the deck. Anyways, that's all I have on stickers for today. They're a very powerful addition to the format, and while not every deck is going to be able to make use of them, I think that they should be seeing a lot more play than they currently are. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas for brewing up something new, and as always, if there's anything I missed or anything you'd like to add, please leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd love to hear from you and hear your own secret sticker tech. Thanks so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you next time.